Hello and welcome back to the Crafty Concepts with Erin YouTube channel. I'm here with the creative design team bringing you fun ideas for shakers. I thought it would be really fun to create a shaker scrapbook layout. I have this really pretty background with the cutout fall leaves, and that is from the Crisp Air digital collection. In the July through September seasonal catalog, if you flip to the Crisp Air collection here, you can see this digital art collection. These are SVGs, so you can use that with a Cricut or a silhouette, whatever you have. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably saw I just recently put this layout together. The Hello Pumpkin title, and then these pumpkins and the vine, of course, are all from this collection. But today I'm going to be creating this layout. Now, let me hold it up here so you can get a better look. They have a double page layout. I only have one photo, so I'm going to be using this side and switching it up to work for me. So let me get this cleared up and we'll get started. Since it's just a single page layout, we're going to be working on one VersaMat today. Just like in the example, I'm building my layout on pine colored cardstock. So this is the darker side, and then we have our leaf background cut out in the lighter side. So you can really see the contrast between the two shades when you have them layered. Isn't that pretty? I just love this. Now my idea is to create some shaker elements out of these leaves. So what I've done is I've actually cut several, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, including this one, so 5 layers total. And this is a retired color. This is New England Ivy, but it's going to be behind this one, so I thought it was a good opportunity to use this up. Now I'm not going to glue this one down yet, but I am going to glue these layers together, and I'm going to use the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue because it has a really fine tip. This would be very challenging and tedious to put foam tape on, so this works really well when you just stack the cutouts on top of each other. And we don't want it super thick. You don't want these to really shake on a scrapbook layout, and you don't want too much bulk, so just enough to where the sequins can kind of move around a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these together off camera, and while I'm doing that, I have an exciting announcement for you. It is time for the 31 Days of Christmas Cards annual event with the creative design team. You are not going to want to miss out on this. It's 31 days of Christmas cards techniques and ideas and just inspiration. It's going to be so much fun. Here's a look at last year's. Take advantage of early bird pricing through September 25th. I've got a link in the description box below where you can find out more and sign up if you want to join us. We can't wait to see you there. I have all of my layers glued together except for the top one, and we'll just kind of rest this here so we can build the layout, and then we'll come back and put the sequins in and finish off our shaker. I'm not 100% sure where everything's going to go yet, so I don't want to complete that portion. I have one 5x7 photo of my son Hayden and his girlfriend Desiree, and they also on their layout have a spot for a 5x7, but it is landscape and mine is portrait, so I had to switch that. And they have it going all the way across to really tie those two sides together. Since I'm doing mine as a single page layout, it's more going to be kind of a center focal piece here. So I love this little notebook torn edge. Those are so cute for just adding some texture and layering on your layouts. And then for my little tab piece, I chose this sapphire blue with the little white leaves on it from the Crisp Air collection. So that's going to layer right over the top. And you'll see I just wanted the sides showing to give more room for my shaker bits. And then this is a piece of mocha cardstock, and that is going to mat my photo just like so. I went ahead and got all my die cut elements cut out. Some of these are layered, so I already went ahead and adhered them together. Like this one here is yellow, and then you overlay the brown on top, the pumpkin as well, and then I still need to put this little floral element together. There's actually 3 layers for that one, and I love that you can just, cut this out in whatever color cardstock matches your photos and the papers you're using for your layout. We'll get all 3 layers lined up. I'm of course using liquid glue so I can easily slide that into place and line everything up nicely. So we'll just get this piece right over the top, and that is peach paper. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm going to actually create the clusters very similar to how they did, but I also pulled the cluster from the right hand layout and brought that over onto this one. Now they did not have a pumpkin on their layout. I added that because there's pumpkins in the picture, and so I thought that would be fun. And then I'm going to put this one right down here. I don't want to cover the pumpkin in the photo, so I'm just going to go over the very corner, and then I can just dry fit these into place to, you know, get them all where I want them to go. We'll put this one over here like that. I love that piece. I think that's so pretty. And then we have these little leaves. These remind me of aspen leaves. Since I have just a little bit of that honey butter yellow on the left hand side, I do want to repeat that on the right hand side so it's not just flying solo on the layout. So just tucking a tiny little leaf in there. And there, I like it. So you'll see here they have a blue flower kind of, you know, on the top layer, but I have this crisp air stamp set here and I want to incorporate this onto my layout. There is this circle sentiment and it says, "What a beautiful day." So I'm going to ink that up in Sapphire ink, and then we'll stamp it onto the White Daisy cardstock here. We'll get this nice and inky, give it a good press, and let's see here. That could be better. Let's do it again. You know, it's just paper, right? You know, just stamp it until you are getting a really good impression. Much better. I'm going to cut that out with a circle die that's just slightly larger. I'm going to place this right over the top of that embellishment cluster in lieu of the flower that they have on the inspiration layout. So I like that it has the white border that helps it stand out against that darker background, and I think that looks good. Since my pumpkin already had sanded edges, I'm going to repeat that on the leaves so they all kind of tie in together. It's just a nice distressed look, which I think goes well with this layout. So I will go ahead and get the rest of those leaves done off camera so you don't have to watch me doing that, but it just adds a little bit of interest, I think. I want to start working on my title, so I have my little mini Misty and a piece of White Daisy. We're using that same stamp set. We're going to use this little banner that says fall, and I think these are so cute. I kind of have a thing for banners. I just love them, and I think they add a lot of movement to the page because they're kind of swoopy and loose lines. You do have to stamp the word L twice, or the letter L twice, but that's definitely not a big deal. We're going to use peach ink, and I'm using my Misty because I want to stamp these a couple times and get that color really nice and saturated. The floral element on the right hand side again is cut from the peach cardstock, so I want to introduce that elsewhere onto the layout. So I thought the title would be a good way to incorporate that. I went ahead and got all of those cut out, so we're just going to swoop those across the bottom of the layout here and spell out the word fall. Let me slide that into place so it's just kind of spanning from the left to the right, connecting everything together. Now, just looking at this layout, I think it looks great as is. If you wanted to stop right here and call it done, you definitely could do that. But since this is a shaker collaboration, we're going to step it up a notch and turn this background into a fun shaker element. I have some rose gold sequins. I thought this would look nice, and I do have my pickup tool. You get these 2 to a package, and it's a wax pencil. I absolutely love this. I have tried some other tools and they just tend to lose their tackiness really fast, and they say, oh, you can wash them, but I haven't had luck with them. This is really nice because when it does lose its tackiness, you just sharpen it. So, and like I said, you get 2 to a package, and it's lasting me a very long time, and it's so handy. So I'm just picking up little bits of sequins because I want a balanced mix of colors and sizes, since there's a, you know, variation in this pack of sequins. I thought it'd be a little bit faster just to, you know, pick it up with my fingers and dump it in there, and then I'll use my pickup tool to kind of balance those out and, you know, put them where I want them. Originally, when I was envisioning this layout, I pictured green sequins, kind of like the color of the paper, for just a very subtle, you know, little movement, little texture in there, but I didn't have green. So I opted for this rose gold, and I like it. I think it reminds me of falling leaves in the background. I think it's really pretty. I'm setting my top layer to the side, and now I have a page protector. This is just a regular album page protector, and I cut it down to fit my layout. Actually, that is too big, so I'm going to trim that down to 11-inch squared. Make sure all your sequins are sitting down in the leaves. And here's a tip for you. Remove any dog hair or lint that may be static clung to the page protector. And I'm just making sure everything's lined up. I like to use either adhesive tape or liquid glass. In this case, I'm going to use the liquid glass. It's super strong and it works very well for this application. Again, I'm just kind of tucking those back in there before I adhere my page protector down because, you know, the static kind of lifts them up a little bit. So I am going all the way around the outside with my liquid glass, and then I'm just going to close in the leaves that have the, you know, sequins in them. We don't need to do the entire thing. We don't need to worry about the center. This is definitely going to be enough to secure those little sequins in place. Just make sure you don't put too much, because when you do squish your page protector down, that's going to expand, which I end up doing, but that's okay. It won't be noticeable in the long run. So line everything up, get it nice and adhered, and then I'm going to use liquid glass on my top layer here. Sorry, I was a little bit off camera, and I do have some adhesive strips in the very center. So we're just gonna get, it's a little bit hard because I can't get over the top of my layout without being in your way. We'll just line that up, and there we go. I felt like my title looked just a little bit unfinished, so I grabbed some twine from my stash and tied a bow in each end, and I'm using micro glue dots to just adhere that to the top of the layout, so it kind of looks like they're little banners clipped to a string, if you will. I did this off camera because some things are just painful to watch because it takes me a long time, and this was one of them. So I just went ahead and got that tied in the little bows off camera. And now I'm adding just a few glue dots across the center, and then I'll squish the twine down into those glue dots. I'm rolling them up so they're really skinny underneath the twine there. Looking at this, I decided I wanted one more little pop of that peach color. So this is a sticker from the coordinating sticker sheet. It says loving this. I cut it in half, and I'm going to stagger it up top here. And that's that third point of peach. And I think that just finishes it off nicely. I'm really enjoying these digital layouts. You know, they almost take longer to cut on your Cricut than they do to put together, but they're really fun. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd love it if you'd click the like button and share it with your crafty friends. They might enjoy it too. I want to show you I did create a little pocket behind the photo where I'm going to type up my journaling and add the story. Next up is Janice. You can find the playlist for all the Creative Design Team videos in the description box below. Don't forget to join us for the 31 Days of Christmas Cards event. It's going to be so much fun, and I truly hope to see you there.